However, Evan Mobley is the overwhelming favorite, and Scottie Barnes rounds out.
I know he's not being completely slept on because he is in the top 3 by the odds makers for Rookie of the Year, but Scottie Barnes, to me, should be talked about more.
You will never look at Scottie Barnes the same again. Thanks to BetUS for sponsoring today's video. $270 million. That's how much Scottie Barnes' new 5-year contract extension is worth. Now comes the question, why on earth would the Toronto Raptors take this big of a chance on a kid who's entering his 4th season in the league and has only been in 1 playoff series? After a simple 2-minute scroll through NBA Twitter, you think that Scottie Barnes was the laughingstock of the league. Yet, when you look at the stats from his first 3 years in the league, you'll soon realize that Scottie Barnes actually took a leap in his most recent season for the Raptors. He went from averaging just over 15 points per game, 6 rebounds and 5 assists in his first 2 seasons, to a crazy 20 points per game, 8 rebounds and 6 assists in his latest season. He improved in the 3 main categories by a good amount. Barnes' stats went up right on time with the loss of OG Anunoby and now Gary Trent Jr. You can definitely expect Scottie to get a lot more shot attempts this upcoming season because OG and Gary Trent Jr. leaving is a huge loss for the Toronto Raptors scoring. And naturally, with more shot attempts comes more points per game. This leap is just one of many for the rising star, and he's only 23 years old. When compared to some of his peers like Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley, Scottie is the clear pick. And that's saying something because both Cade Cunningham and Evan Mobley have shown flashes that they can be crucial stars for their respective teams. And for starters, Scottie is 6'8" with a 7'3" wingspan. That's the same wingspan as Giannis. In addition to that, he also has the perfect weight, being around 225 pounds, which helps him guard 1 through 5 with ease. This is something that only a select few players in the NBA could do. This puts Scottie Barnes in the company of players like Giannis Antetokounmpo, Kawhi Leonard, and Bam Adebayo. Cade Cunningham is not one of those said players, and he's more of an offensive guy. Evan Mobley can guard 1 to 5 for the most part as well, and as crazy as this next statement may sound to some people, Scottie Barnes has an old school Magic Johnson kind of game. And this becomes a lot more evident when you look at his jump and assists. Both men are considered tall for their position, yet have a good ball handle and are great passers, and this is mainly where the comparisons between the two show the most. Due to their frame, both players are able to see over the defenders to make the right read almost every time and have this natural feel for the game. Scottie Barnes has Cade Cunningham's smooth passing ability and Evan Mobley's defensive ability, which puts him above both because he is the ultimate positionless player. Cade plays point guard primarily, and Mobley thrives in the paint/mid-range area, while Scottie can get a bucket from literally anywhere on the court and do it comfortably each time. He runs the offense like a guard, posts up like a forward, and his wingspan allows him to protect the rim like a center. This kind of versatility makes him a matchup nightmare for most players in the league filled with stars. And while knowing this, I went through the BetUS website and I saw the odds for the Toronto Raptors to make the playoffs. It is a plus 500, and I really think that Scottie Barnes can do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and place this. And if you guys want to place this as well, BetUS is offering a 125% bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Make sure you guys gamble responsibly. Now back to the video. Scottie has also proven more than both of his peers by being named to an all-star team, winning Rookie of the Year, and of course, making the all-rookie team. It has only been 3 years, but it's interesting thinking about how both of these players were drafted before Scottie Barnes. Although I do believe Cade is more on par with Scottie, his situation in Detroit isn't helping his career anytime soon.
The losing streak reaches 27 consecutive games. That is the longest streak.
There's so many things that Scottie does well despite being so young. Let's go more in depth with his insane defensive abilities for further reference. The Raptors tested Scottie's ability by putting Barnes on Stephen Curry for the majority of the game. So naturally, this meant that Barnes would have to not only outrun Steph Curry all night, but he would also be responsible for navigating through screens and trying his absolute best to not lose him off the ball. It's very impressive seeing bigger players like forwards and centers being able to stick with guards, let alone superstar guards of Steph's caliber. I say it's impressive because Rudy Gobert, a 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, isn't even able to do this. We then can look at how much ground Scottie covers, whether it's on offense or defense. In this next clip, we could see him ripping the ball from Luka Doncic and then immediately going coast to coast and slamming it over PJ Washington, who was by Scottie's side the entire time and has a familiar frame. There's even more plays like this one versus the Cleveland Cavaliers where he gets the steal and goes coast to coast again. It's like watching a slightly smaller Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's been dunking like this since his high school days, which is just so insane to think about. In just his rookie season, Scottie Barnes felt comfortable picking up James Harden full court and coming off of it with a steal, and snatches the ball away from Kevin Durant. It really seems like the kid loves playing defense, which is somewhat of a lost art in today's game where players do what they have to just to get by. This is a huge recipe for success because a lot of guys shy away from that big star versus star matchup defensively. While on the subject, let's look at some of the stars Scottie has gone at on the offensive end. Players like Jason Tatum,
Scottie, oh, how sweet was that move? How about he put it going to work?
LeBron James,
Barnes guarded by James. And Scottie puts it
and
up.
Giannis Antetokounmpo, a former Defensive Player of the Year.
Barnes crossover right at Giannis. Oh, man.
The East is as strong as it has ever been in the last decade, so it's not going to be easy for Scottie to take over the league. But let me tell you this, he is for sure on his way there and making great progress each season, and he is without a doubt making his way back to the All-Star game in this upcoming 2024-25 NBA season, and might even get his first all-defensive team selection of his career.
I'm just really ready to get right back into things. Like I said, it's been a long off season. Didn't go too well last year, but I'm just ready to get back into things, start a winning culture.
What do you think about Scottie Barnes? And do you think he will lead his Raptors back to the playoffs this upcoming season? If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And thanks to BetUS Sportsbook and Casino for sponsoring today's video. I'll catch you guys in the next one.